we're like twins, like Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'm Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Schwarzenegger. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Bar Talk podcast.
Hold on.
Oh, again?
Hit yes, and then we'll go.
We're recording.
We're recording.
Go ahead, back up.
This is why I don't trust you.
There's no way I'm not recording you saying I'm Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Hey, welcome to Beer Talk. We're here with
too
Carl.
Why does everybody always take over?
I love it because you keep interrupting me.
Right,
they figure they're going to give it a shot.
Listen.
That's two false starts. Now I'm going to feel so fake.
Hold on,
I'm
ready?
like a game show host.
I'm going to do this,
Chumley.
which I'm told not to do.
I didn't actually stop.
Take two.
So this is all...
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Bar Talk Codcast.
Bar talk.
See?
And you're not even drinking.
I'm not. That's the problem. I'm shaking over here. Welcome to the Bar Talk podcast. My name is Jordan Shavit of the Speedwell Tavern, along as always with my co-host, my assistant, Carl Heine.
Heininess.
Hello, everybody.
And we are joined again by Chumley, whose first and last names will be also left anonymous again.
Sean Nelson.
Of the Main Street Sports Bar.
Thank you. It's nice to be here again.
Glad to have you. And we are joined again by Erik Bevans of the Quahog Republic and next door Captain's Den Bar.
That's right. Woohoo!
Yeah.
All right, good neighbors. I love it.
Excellent. So we've had you guys on once before, and everything went well. We got into the Quahog Republic and a little bit of Eric's background. And what, Carl? You giving me the look here?
No, I think that's
Carl
great.
was
Just
digging
keep
it
talking.
there.
Just don't let me say anything. You just take over the whole friggin' podcast like you usually do.
I got to introduce, man. So we're going to spend a little bit more time talking less about Carl and less about Erik and more about
That's the problem.
Sean Chumley Nelson.
Okay? That's the problem.
Now my full name is...
He already yelled it into the microphone.
So if you're on Facebook, you
I
know my
guess
real name.
what we
Yes,
wanted
exactly.
to talk
It's
about
not that big of a secret.
was the dichotomy between
Practice on
Erik,
the mirror
who's
a few
actually
times.
opened up in Plymouth, and Chumley, who's been in Plymouth for, I would say, how old are you? Like 100 years?
I'm
So,
I'm actually 120, but I'm a vampire, so I look like I'm 48.
that's
Sure
actually...
you do.
Yeah, we consider that pretty old, too.
All right.
So
My
I guess...
wife tells me I look like I'm 30, but I think she's lying.
I guess what we really wanted to do is
With a couple Mai Tais. Probably having a hard time over there.
you guys better start friggin' paying attention to me.
Yes, sir. Carl. It's all Carl. Everyone focus.
This is why I do the talking.
I will tap on this mic until I am friggin' cut off. Okay? So what we really want to know, Erik,
Yes.
is
Dun, dun, dun.
what were some of your problems coming into Plymouth? And I say problems because Jordan and I have the same problems.
I don't have any of your
Chumley, oh no, you got problems. And
Yeah, you're one of them.
Chumley probably has the same problems is staffing. Where did you come up, or how did you get the staffing that you have now? And how is that different from the other places that you have?
We were lucky enough that we did have the other locations to draw from to...
Okay, thank you very much. And Chumley, do you have those same thoughts? No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead, Erik. Just go ahead.
You're going to do that every time you talk?
right, yeah.
Yeah,
That's an old joke.
I am, because I tower over them.
You masters.
I'd like to see one-on-one basketball against the two of you.
I would, but, I blew my knee out. That's why I'm not professional. But we've already talked about that.
yes. We probably...
Our biggest concern coming to the where we're at right now was obviously personnel is always a huge issue.
Gigantic.
We've got a great base group of people that can float in between a couple of the other restaurants. So it actually is starting to open up some other doors for us. We're able to be at these new locations and feel confident moving into them. Our biggest challenge is questioning whether or not that you guys own some great beer places, right?
Thanks.
That's one, I like them because,
Really, I never see you in mine.
You don't. Yeah, as I was building out, you
Because you didn't make it past 6 o'clock.
Yeah. When you get a 1-year-old at home, you better not see me at your place if you want to do it right. Nice. Just saying, Jordan.
Yeah, I'm learning.
Coming up, you know what I mean? So give me some time, though, and I'll be back. But, you know...
In 18 years.
Right? Fuck, I'm fucked. Man, I love you.
You're everything to me.
So glad we did this. Han, don't ever listen to this.
Really? Because we wanted Tom.
All right, nobody listening is going to laugh at us laughing, are they?
I don't know.
Maybe a couple people.
Question.
Yeah, maybe a couple
people.
Yeah.
They're gonna laugh at that last part. That's for sure. I know.
We don't really care if they laugh as long as they download it.
Yes, exactly. It's all about the download.
I can listen to a minute, man. That's cool.
Yeah, all right, cool.
First 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay,
Jordan
Jen.
Chumley.
So, yeah, back of the house staffing is always the biggest challenge, to create consistency there. Our business structure is typically about 55% food sales, 45% beverage sales, which is very different than a lot of other places.
That's
on
sort
the
of
strip.
reversed.
Yeah, absolutely, right? So in understanding that, our biggest question is, can we pull that off? Meaning, can we draw people from what I would perceive as a waterfront dining establishments, not drinking establishments, and have them come up on Main Street and have a little bit of that dining culture up here rather than a drinking culture, which they're all very beneficial to all of us. If I look around this room, we're all making livings based on those, but that's our business structure and how kind of...
All right, see what Kyle's wearing? I don't know what kind of living he's making.
Living La Vida Loca.
But why? But Eric, I'm going to ask you a question, and I'm going to put you right into this, so pay attention, for Christ's sakes.
All right, for God's sakes.
Why Plymouth? I mean, there's a lot of places that you could have opened up.
Sure.
Now, you are a first-time...
Plymothian?
Pilgrim, long-time listener, and
absolutely.
Chumley is born and bred in Plymouth.
Yep.
So, what made you come to Plymouth? And then I'm going to ask Chumley, why did he stay in Plymouth?
Sure. The downtown location to us served us on many different levels. One, owning the space.
Yeah, keep putting it on the table, see what happens.
Sorry about that, I keep getting yelled at. Owning the space, a big part of why we came to Plymouth. The amount of
but you could own a place in Situate or Quincy,
right? But on Main Street in Plymouth, America's hometown, how many opportunities do you have to own what I perceive as a great location?
Depends how many breakfast places you decide to burn down.
You know how much money that cost us that night?
That grease, that grease has been cleaned up, and it was not my breakfast place.
They couldn't have done that on a Monday night. Really, they had to do it on a Friday night. That cost us at least $10,000.
Oh my god!
Not cool. Yeah, I mean,
but how dirty was that?
But true.
True.
Well, let's just say
it was a little dirty.
I had eaten at that location.
Yeah, so had I.
Okay,
let's
just say that I'm surprised I didn't get sick.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. So you said, I'm going to eat breakfast here and maybe get sick and think, geez, I'd really like to open a bar here.
He didn't see the kitchen, though, at the time.
No.
But most of the grease had burned off by the time he got to it.
Well,
The whole building was burned down, never mind the grease.
Well, it was amusing. The night of the fire, everybody's like, oh, it smells like electrical fire. I'm like, I don't know what electrical fire smells like, but I know what grease smells like. That's definitely...
There might be a body
You know,
there.
That definitely smells like grease.
Chum, I'm sorry. Which fire was that?
Yeah,
That would be the fire next to Main Street.
That'll be the second fire?
yeah, right. It was.
No, so I guess
Speak
the
all
question is, what, you're a Cape guy.
Yeah.
What made you think, hey, Plymouth?
There's the market research showed that there was at least 10 months business here a year, which the Cape is about 4 months of business a year.
Even the waterfront's only 4 months. Like Plymouth waterfront.
Right. Well, look,
is
if you would compare it to Cape numbers, and when you're crushing it, and then when you're off, this is 10 months a year business here.
Yeah, 'cause-
it's so different down there. I mean, it literally, we'll do 4 months of business, and people look at me like, how the fuck do you guys do this much business in this amount of time? And I'll go, oh, that's what you do.
So
and
for 8 months, you don't do anything down there.
It's disgusting. It's actually a major problem in one of our businesses. Like Falmouth, for instance, is one of our restaurants closes down completely, so it's not a problem. Falmouth is crazy, drops off, and it still does all right.
Right.
But it's so slow that we run things extremely tight, low inventory, low staffing, low everything. But what it does to our staff is that their minds get kind of jammed up. They don't realize this is a year-round job. I mean, it's that slow sometimes.
So do you have like in the busy season, like really good-looking servers, and then in the winter just put the ugly ones in? Or?
Put the ugly ones out the pasture. Yeah. No, you know what? In the busy season, you can have the people who look like you, and we do great.
Right,
Doesn't matter.
Right.
As long as they're dressed like you, people just come in.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
But so coming to Plymouth was a stretch for you. I mean, it was
a
outside
stretch,
your boundary.
A little bit, but we felt very confident. Again, we believe in we believe in 10-month-a-year business here. We think there's that there.
Well, there's Chumley.
I go
Chumley,
crazy all
shut up,
summer.
I'm talking. So Chumley...
It's because we're slow in the summer. Like, you opened up in the summer. Like, when you first opened up, it must have been like, oh, my God, this is what we're coming into. But you knew it was going to be slow.
It was a curiosity factor. And there's also, we have to believe in our business. And, do I believe, we can draw more people up the hill during the summer? I do believe that because of our other facilities and that name.
You're starting to see it happen.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, do I think it's going to be easy? No. I think it's going to be probably one of the hardest things we've ever done.
But you knew it was going to be slow when you first opened up.
I knew it would be busier in the wintertime. I don't know if slow is the right word to use.
Yeah.
I mean,
So,
comparatively to what you guys are seeing.
It used to be
but-
Percy's before you.
Yep.
And, Chumley, you've been in town for 100 years.
Yes. At least.
What was it before Percy's? Do you remember?
Yeah, it was
Riptides.
Riptides.
Did you work there?
No.
Trying to see all the places he's worked at.
I'll tell you everywhere I worked. You know who used to own Riptides? Is the investment company next to me. Phil owned it.
No kidding.
Phil and Brian?
Yeah.
Phil and his father Brian?
Yep.
Phil owned Riptides.
So when
shit.
you were
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. It was.
when
it
you
was
were my
a crazy
age
bar.
and you were going out drinking,
Crazy bar.
but when you were going out
drinking,
drinking, way back when you were 21, 22 years old,
Yeah.
and you were born and raised in Plymouth, so you knew all the bars. You knew,
yeah.
So
It wasn't a lot back then. You go to the 1620.
Where would you go?
You go to the 1620, and then Handle by Harry's.
Where was the 1620?
1620 is that big empty lot now, right on the Rotary.
Okay.
That was the 1620.
Okay.
But back then, in the summertime, you go down the Cape.
Well, can we back up? You said Handle by Harry's too, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that the guy that owns one
Dorsey.
of the guys? He owns the BBC now, right?
No. That's
Harry.
That's Harry.
That's
Harry
Harry
Gnog, right?
That's
Yeah,
Harry Gnog. No.
That he wasn't involved in Handle by Harry's.
Handle
I
by
always
Harry's.
thought that.
No.
Handle
Well,
by
clearing
Harry.
that up for all of our customers.
You know what?
No.
If you
Handle
want
by
to clear it
Harry
up, it's because
was
Eric's from the
Dorsey.
Cape and he doesn't really know what's
That's
going
right.
on around here.
Handle by Harry was Dorsey. Dorsey had a handlebar, and he owned the place in Falmouth. At the hotel.
Oh, someone just said this the other day, and I'm not helping at all right now. I'm just talking about.
No, this is great.
Yeah.
What? You should know, Carl.
But it was at a hotel in, I believe,
Yes, it was it was the Hilton Hotel, and
They had Trader Vic's.
yeah, Chad Ricks, yep, and he had a mustache.
Dorsey.
I don't know. So, I am a Cape Codder, so that means I've never left my own town to go check out anything else.
Yeah.
So I can't tell
But
you.
when, growing up in Plymouth, there wasn't a ton in Plymouth. So in the summertime, we used to go down the Cape. We went to all the bars and restaurants, and we used to go to Hyannis, we go to Falmouth, we go, everywhere down the Cape, which half the bars are still there. And, honestly, 30 years ago, there was no such thing as drinking and driving.
What was Main Street Sports before it was...
It was a
Main Street
colonial.
Sports. Yeah, it's
Colonial,
Yeah,
right.
And don't tell anybody over my age, because they're still pissed.
Yeah, I know.
It's kind of like the colonial. People are pissed off that closed. People are pissed off that Benny's are closed. And people are pissed off that Ernie's closed.
All the people that didn't go to Ernie's, Benny's, or the Colonial, they went maybe once or twice, and then they were pissed once it was gone.
Yeah. And, hey, I'm not happy they're all closed.
But when you were of drinking age,
And then
and
in the
you
winter, we went to Boston.
Right.
Because, again, there was no such thing as drinking and driving. back
asking a question.
then. Again?
When you were of drinking age,
Yeah.
downtown Plymouth,
Yeah.
San Diego's, was it there?
It wasn't quite there yet. It was Station 1.
Okay, what else was there when you were?
There was nothing. Where you are was Puritan Clothing.
Yep.
Where T-Bones and T-Bones...
That was
That was the
Shorno Tools.
Mug and Muffin.
Mug and Muffin.
No, it was Mug and Muffin.
Okay. Speedwell was like a record store.
No, Speedwell
Deli.
was
Yoga
was it
studio.
That's
no,
upstairs.
Still is?
Yeah.
It was, Speedwell was the Chat and Chew. It was a deli.
Yeah. All right. I knew it was a deli at some
Yeah.
point, but Chat and Chew.
Chat
That's
and
what it was
Chew.
called. Did
It was
not know
called
that.
the Chat and Chew.
So 100 years ago, when you were a kid,
There was nothing.
there was really nothing.
There was a
I mean, it was
1620. McGrath's was where whatchamacallit is.
East Bay.
East Bay.
Yep.
So you didn't go there drinking.
Really good
You'd go to the 1620 because they had bands and stuff upstairs.
And
then
what was Cabbie Shack?
It was.
Yeah, what was Cabbie Shack?
It was a fried. It was a fried place. You go for fried seafood. It was a.
Not the Weather Vane. The Weather Vane is
no,
where.
no,
Nix's.
no.
Oh, for Christ's sakes, don't say no, like
It
I was
way
like
before
way off.
Nix's. It was not Mayflower. Yeah, it was Mayflower.
Oh shit.
It was Mayflower. It was called Mayflower. But
And
there
Lou's
was
was on
no
the
bar
rocks,
you'd
right?
go to and drink and hang out. None of those were that. Literally, you would either go to the 1620. There was the on
You're starting to bore people.
the Infino reasons, the Infall seasons, which was like the older clientele. So you'd go there to pick up older women, divorcees and stuff
What is
like
this?
that.
Now you've got everybody's attention.
You would literally go into Boston, or you'd go down in the winter
I would throw
time,
my
and you'd go down
keys
the
on
Cape
the
in
bar,
summer.
and people would like throw my keys back.
Oh yeah.
So I thought that
and kick you in the nuts.
There wasn't a bowl that would accept my
Not yet.
There was not a lot of bars and stuff in town.
No.
Not until like downtown started putting Sean O'Toole's in and started putting in things like that. There was nothing. Station 1 came in, and then Station 1 turned into San Diego. San Diego's was the first bar, and then East Bay came in. There was nothing. There was nothing in town.
So-
in the 90s, all downtown, half of downtown was boarded up. All the stores were closed up. They were boarded up in the 90s. It looked like downtown Plymouth was like ready to... it was all shut down.
No kidding.
It was all boarded up in the 90s.
Where was the first place you worked? First restaurant.
1620.
1620?
I was going to college at Bentley.
Yep.
I thought I wanted to be a CPA. I had a 98 math average in high school. I didn't know what I wanted to be when I grew up, so I went to Bentley College, and I thought I was going to be a CPA. And after 2 years, I'm like, holy Moses and the Pharaohs, I do not want to be an accountant. So I left Bentley with a huge chunk of money owing them, and I was waiting tables at 1620. And I needed more night hours because before I started working, at 18 waiting tables, for 3 years, before that I taught tennis for the town. So I told them I needed night hours. So they're like, well, we can't give you night hours, waiting tables. What if you work in the kitchen? Yeah, so I went the wrong way. I went from waiting tables to working in the kitchen.
Way to pay off that college loan.
So I learned the word Dumas.
So how much do you still owe?
Oh no!
Yeah.
I worked a lot.
Yeah.
I've always been a hard worker. The next summer I paid off those 2 years of Bentley.
No shit.
Yeah, I remember writing that. I was paying them $600 a month,
Oh,
and this was
100 years ago.
30
Yeah.
years ago. I
Wow,
remember paying
dude.
them $600 a month. I remember writing that last check, and I went to work at the
Hold on.
1620.
You got to remember, Chumley's like 40, 50, 60, a lot older than me, and I tower over him.
I remember writing that last check. That was like one of my proudest days.
That's
paying
cool,
them
man.
off, and I was at work, and I got a stamp from work and mailed it. Like
So-
the mailman came in.
So you
I
stole
gave
a
it to
stamp
him.
from work.
So, Chum. So,
Yeah,
Chum.
because I didn't steal any booze back then. Because there was
Back then? What do you mean back then?
Oh no, that was in my contract. Now I don't pay for shit. I wrote that into my contract starting in the early '90s.
You know, when I paid off my last student loan, I sent them more money than I owed them, so I could finally get a fucking check back. And they sent it back, and I got a picture of me like.
Same thing.
Well, it was funny.
Sorry,
when
Carl.
I went to Bridgewater. And I signed up for some courses to go to Bridgewater State, and I'm like, I need to talk to the finance department, sign up for 4 classes, and I want to go on a payment plan. And she's like, oh, all right. I'm like, well, how much are the 4 classes? She's like, oh, it's this much. I'm like, what? She's like, it's this much. I'm like, I pulled out my checkbook because, back then.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, here you go. She's like, really? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, that's all it costs for 4 classes at a state college. I paid it in cash.
Don't
I'm
bang
like,
on the table.
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. But that's exactly what I did. I'm like, banging on the thing. Like,
But, you've
I couldn't
been...
imagine how much it costs for 4 classes at a state college after going to
You've
Bentley.
been in the restaurant industry for 100 years.
For 30 years.
That's 100 years.
Yeah. So I'm like,
It's like dog
What
years.
is? I guess the question to you
Yeah,
is,
absolutely is.
what was your biggest obstacle? And I'll preface by saying, is it getting people in that can cook with you, that can serve with you? I mean, how hard is it to get normal people to work for you?
You don't
And
want
by
normal
normal, I
people.
mean like us.
You don't want normal people working for
Yeah,
you.
no normal person.
It's hard finding passionate people. Cooking is a way of life. Working in the restaurant industry is a strange nonfiction or fiction, or it's
Whatever's funnier.
Yeah, cooking is something that it builds out of your heart and your soul. You either love it or you just do it for a living. I do it because it makes me feel really good about the day. And it's hard to find people that just fucking love it as much as you do. And that's the hardest thing. Because most people who cook for a living just looking for a paycheck.
Well, the tough thing is, too, when they like it as much as you do, or love it as much as you do, they're probably gunning for your position, too.
Well,
because that's so rare, you know what I mean? It really is.
It's not even like when you find someone young enough or thing, and I've held many of those people that worked with me, and I've taught them so much over the years, and then they come to me after working for me for a couple of years and go, hey, I'm really sorry, and they're like, I'm leaving. And I'm like, I didn't expect you to work for me forever. I said, you went to, I've had people work for me that went to CIA, who went to Johnson & Wales, and I've never gone to culinary school. And I'm like, I've never expected you to work for me forever. I'm like, dude, you worked for me for 3 years. I'm like, this has been amazing.
Right.
And I'm so glad you're leaving. I said, it's been amazing you working for me for 3 years.
So I'm going to ask you this question.
And
At the restaurant. At the restaurant.
right now, yeah.
What is your favorite thing to cook? And is it the same thing that is it your favorite thing to eat?
I don't eat a lot at work. I honestly don't eat.
Well, you're in the kitchen. I never want to eat when I'm working.
Yeah, I wouldn't eat your food either.
I don't eat. Your wife has no problem eating my food.
Well, she's
Oh,
because
yes.
she's half in the bag when she gets it.
Well, I was thinking especially breakfast.
Can I hit the button now, or what's going on? No, I guess the question is, from what you prepare for food, people really, really, really like. Do you make that same food at home, or is it once you leave the bar, it's done?
Well, I've always described my cooking as cooking from the hip, And when you're in the restaurant, you really have to kind of stay to the, what you're making and stuff like that. I love things like when I'm making specials and things like that, when I can make something that's different and cooking from the hip that I don't have to create from my recipe book or something like that. I can make something completely different. And that's what kind of makes me happy. But I love making, I pickle my own jalapenos, for God's sakes. I don't buy a can of jalapenos and just throw them in my nachos. I pickle my own jalapenos. I make the blue cheese dressing. I make the ranch. I make the Caesar. And the Caesar sells really well, And I'm talking about a place that we don't sell a ton of food, And every day I get to make that stuff, that's what makes me happy, And that's the reason I make that stuff. I could buy canned jalapenos, and no one would probably notice the difference.
I'll throw this out there, and I don't mean to say it in a negative way, but the like you said, you guys don't sell much food. So the mantra is Main Street's not a food place; it's a late night drinking place. We borrow shit from each other all the time. I need this, I need that. I had to go borrow something from you the other day, and I went downstairs and I saw your little pizza shop. The dough is getting made from scratch. You got your mixer down there. I see all these fresh ingredients, and I'm like, why is this place not? You're building it up, obviously, and you could see that start to happen because it used to just be that late-night drinking place.
Yeah.
But it is becoming, as the place across the street, I do a decent amount of food. I'm starting to look at it Main Street's good spot for pizza, good spot for scratch-made salads, and you're seeing that chef stuff come through. From the outside looking in, I never knew that. I went down, I'm telling you, anybody listening, Main Street Sports, down in Chumley, in the kitchen and in the basement, he's got from-scratch factory down there. It's happening. So you could see that experience come through. I don't want to come off the wrong way because, like I said, it's nothing against you. We know each other, but I don't know where you've come from, and that's why we're doing this. See where the roots come from, and I can see that passion coming through in the food over there. So kudos to you, brother.
It's unfortunate. A lot of people give Main Street a bad name. It's that bar that problems happen, fights, and late night drinking. Unfortunately, we have only high tops in the place, and it's not the most comfortable place. People look at it that aspect. But again, it's, the first 3 years it was opened, it had a very bad name. But now we're trying to bring it back to, come in for lunch. Come in before 9 o'clock at night. The kitchen closes at 9 o'clock. Come in before that. We have great daily specials. We have wonderful food. We make everything from scratch. Everything comes in fresh. Our chicken comes in fresh. Our chicken wings come in fresh. I make everything from scratch, basically, except for the French fries, the potato skins, and the mozzarella sticks.
Yeah, you don't want to be doing that.
So you do homemade egg rolls.
I make every egg roll from scratch.
All right, so you make homemade egg rolls.
And they're a pain in the butt.
What is the weirdest egg roll you've put out?
The weirdest egg roll, I still think maybe the shepherd's pie. It's on the menu, but
Shepherd's pie egg roll.
Yeah, it's kind of a little tweaked. Everybody thought it was what are you making? A shepherd's pie egg roll? I'm like, yeah, I'm making a shepherd's pie egg roll.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah,
mashed potatoes, corn, beef. Is that basically what you put in it?
Yeah, ground beef. Put a little onion in it. I put the gravy, the corn in it, and then I serve it with gravy. But then I've also done an apple pie egg roll.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Sounds good.
Why not? It's like delicious. A McDonald's apple pie, man. Why not?
Man, I want one of those now.
I made
Angela to go on an apple pie run.
I made a mac and cheese egg roll the other day.
So, without mentioning the place that you're actually going to, if you and your wife were to go out for a night on the town, what are you looking to do? Is it Italian? Is it Chinese?
There's a few restaurants. We like Alden Park. We like the Tasty, not to mention any places.
Man, they crush it over there. The Tasty change their menu every fucking day.
Every day. It's
we
insane.
love New World Tavern. We'll go to Quahog Republic. We'll go to Speedwell.
Quahog Republic.
I got a good one for you. So you come from a bunch of different restaurant backgrounds, and obviously now you are doing your specials, and you say that's your passion, cooking from the hip. Yeah. Is there a certain menu item you wish you love to cook, you wish you could do over there that really you can't, maybe because it's a sports bar and you have a little bit of a boundary?
Well, I used to do when I worked at the Run of the Mill. I used to run the Run of the Mill Tavern. I used to do a lot of seafood, a lot of salmon. A lot of halibut and stuff like that. And every weekend I used to run 8 different specials. And I used to run on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. it'll be the same 8 specials all weekend long, and I really enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun, and I'd run those 8 and every weekend they would change, and it was just a lot of fun.
Yeah.
To be able to run, and I had them printed out.
So is it more fun than like doing an iPod pad thing that we're doing right now?
Oh no, this is overwhelming.
I'm overwhelmed.
So I just want to go on the record to say, of the 2 guests that we have right now, Erik and Chumley, I tower over at least half of them.
Well, at least we got...
nobody's complaining.
That's all you got?
At least we got
I think I'm like,
covered.
well, that's not bad. Yeah.
That was
I
from
guess-
Carl, who owns New World Tavern in Plymouth. As everybody doesn't know, Carl owns New World Tavern in Plymouth.
Tall
Great
Carl,
restaurant.
I'm known as.
He's a little bit taller than Roman, the other owner.
Roman. We're at the halfway mark, and usually we do some sort of rapid fire lightning round, but I thought it'd be kind of a neat idea because you've been in town for so long and have experienced so many different places. As fast as you can, name as many restaurants that have you worked at.
All right.
Well,
I worked at
Mexico, Panama.
go.
1620, Handlebar Harry's, Run of the Mill Tavern, On the Rocks,
Tick, tick, tick,
wow,
tick.
Main Street Sports.
Main Street Sports.
You don't have to help them.
Rye Tavern, Blue Eyed Crab, Stafford Hill.
Main Street Sports.
I already said Main Street Sports.
Just trying to help you.
Stafford Hill Assisted Living. I was the director of dining.
That had to be different.
I basically ran the dining. I wore, nice clothes every day.
Now, did you do that before or after you did the catering? Because you used to own a catering company.
Yeah,
too,
I owned
right?
a catering company. I was Eclectic Catering by Chumley. I owned that for
like
about
that.
10 years. And then I started... Then I was on the Rocks. I opened up that restaurant for them. And then I started doing... I was the director of resident dining at Stafford Hill. And then I left there, and I was the general manager at the Blue Eyed Crab. Then I left there, and then I was the general manager at the Rye Tavern for a year. And then I left there, and then I was at Main Street.
No doubt.
Yeah,
So I guess the bottom line is, who do you like better, me or Erik?
Here, look around.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see who I would,
If I put a knit hat on you, you guys look like twins.
I need a shirt like that, though.
Serious, man. You
I
guys
got a
are
bunch
like,
of shirts just like
you guys are identical.
I tower over him.
I don't know, man. Sitting down, you look identical.
And we ain't testing laying down.
But I've had a lot of fun over the years. I mean, the restaurant industry, it's passionate. It's wonderful. I mean, you either love it or you don't do it.
Bunch of sick fucks.
Yeah.
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 There's I always look at people like, oh, you must be doing great, like you guys mentioned earlier. Like, oh, you must be yeah. Don't get me wrong, I'm doing all right. You work for every fucking cent.
Listen,
there's
if
nothing.
not a millionaire?
If you own a bar,
and
you're...
if I was a millionaire, I earned every last fucking
Right,
cent of it.
exactly.
Well, listen,
You know what I mean? Yeah.
if you own a bar, you're
Crazy.
rich.
Yeah,
Rich,
no, yeah.
Everybody says, oh,
Yeah,
you must
that's-
be made of money.
That's like your wife works full time, and if I told
Yeah.
my wife if we ever opened up a restaurant, she'd still have to work full time so we could
course.
afford
Oh, yeah.
the restaurant.
Right. the
I got
restaurant
people.
break,
I got people that come in on a Saturday night say, "You guys are always packed. Yeah, you're here on a Saturday night.
Buy on a Monday.
Yeah.
Come on a Tuesday and see what happens." But
Yeah, you got to be rich, right? And that's the thing too. Actually, that's a good one for you too, Chumley. Is we're noticing over the last. I am personally. I've been in the industry for a little while. I'm noticing with the uptick of social media, Instagram food porn pictures, Food Network, all these saving a restaurant shows that are out where some jack-off comes in and knows everything and wants to walk into your place and tell you how to do your job. Are you noticing maybe the clientele is getting a little bit more, I don't know, know-it-all-ish? You know what I mean? Are you getting any of that at all?
I don't get it too often, thank God. I got it more maybe 10 years ago.
Really?
Yeah, I'd say 10 years ago. When people be like, oh, I want this, I want that. I'm like, yeah, you have no idea what you're talking about. Honestly. Do you want to come in and do my job? And I'm a very straightforward kind of person. I have no reason to lie to people. I'm very honest. Again, I'm very straightforward with people. And when Food Network first came out, it seemed like fun. It was neat. It was fun, and I watched it for the first couple of years. I liked, what's his name, the guy who did the science stuff.
Alton Brown's the
I
man,
loved
good
Alton
eats.
Brown.
Yeah, he's the
I
man.
loved Alton Brown, and then I got really bored with it. I honestly haven't watched Food Network probably in 10 years. It bored the crap out of me. And, when it first came out, people were like, oh, and this, and this, and this, and it's like...
They're real experts.
Yeah. It does a little of both ways for us, because it also, when people are sitting on their couch at home, no one reads magazines anymore or stuff like that. When people are sitting on their couch at home, and they flip on the TV and they see all this beautiful food porn, it also raises enthusiasm, gets people out maybe more than once a week, too. But I do notice the clientele over the years, at least my experience, front of the house, back of the house, people want to shove their phone in your face, say, make me this drink, or why isn't this on the special sheet? Well, that's 7 ingredients that my restaurant doesn't carry. I'm not going to bring them in for that one special I'm going to sell 3 of.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's just sort of a thing.
I was also just very lucky when Food Network first came out. I was working at a place that I was putting out food that was more creative, I think, than Food TV was.
Right.
The Food TV when it first came out was Emerald.
Right.
Emerald.
I love Emerald.
Emerald was...
I love fucking love him, man.
Why not?
And how can you not love him? But
there's a guy, you got to remember. Here's a guy who came from exactly what you're talking about.
New Bedford?
Fall River.
I tell you what,
Yeah.
I sat in... seventh grade, my history teacher, Mr. Garvin, I sat in Emerald Lagasse's desk. I went to the same high school as him, and he picked on me like crazy. Every time something came up, oh, it must be that guy sitting in Emerald's desk, and I just got picked on, but I'll never forget it. And for a little while, I hated Emerald Lagasse, because I sat in that goddamn desk, and I got picked on by Mr. Garvin.
No way.
But
Absolutely.
I'm not saying it in a bad way. I'm saying it was about taste, not presentation. It was about simple, wonderful ingredients. So, I would do a beautiful sesame pan-seared salmon with a wonderful teriyaki glaze, or a gourd, or a halibut, with or a salmon with a pineapple salsa or something like that.
Right, yeah.
And that, we're talking 15, 20 years ago.
Right.
So that
was the new shit going on, man.
that was, or a cucumber relish with
it's
nice
kind of
fresh,
cool.
Fresh dill in it, and just that you tasted it and you're like, wow, that just tastes so crisp and fresh, and you cooked that perfectly, and it was about cooking it perfectly.
Listen to food porn radio right now.
Yeah,
And it was like
Half it too.
So let me
Cream
ask
free.
Chum, you've been an executive chef in a lot of places. How hard is it to get a really good number 2 chef?
Well, I'm lucky enough right now. I don't really have a number 2 chef. I just kind of do everything myself, and I have people who work for me who just kind of cover the place when I don't work.
Do what you tell them to do.
But how hard is that to get?
If you're lucky.
Nowadays, it's hard to find a number 2 unless if you work in a good place. I would think it would be easier to find a number 2. Like if you work somewhere like at Port Bistro or the Blue Eyed Crab or something like that you're going to pay somebody and you want to train somebody. Working somewhere like Main Street, how do I find someone number 2? They don't expect anything. There's no high expectations. I have older people working for me that...
What do you mean by older?
I have someone who works for me who's older than I am, who used to work with me
Who's
years
like
ago.
42?
He's like your age.
So I'm going to put you on the spot in a second, but I'm going to give you some time to sort of think off the top of your head. But I think my favorite part about what keeps crazy people like us in the industry, especially kitchen workers, is the stories that come out of it and the camaraderie. So I'm going to use this time real quick to give you a couple seconds. Those of you listening, if you have a specific industry story that you'd like us to share, email at us at bartalkcast@gmail.com. Send us your story. And if it's a good one, we'll read it on, and you might get a gift card from Carl to New World Tavern if we pick it. So
I'll give a gift card too.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm not giving gift cards.
Yeah, I'm out. I've given enough already.
All right, so the only gift card you're getting is from Main Street.
But
The
with
only
that,
bar, restaurant, it means anything in town.
Chumley, do you have any sort of? I mean, I always think of the kitchen as sort of brothers in arms, man. It's like it's unforgiving work. It's hard work. It's hot back there. You get angry. Tensions are high. You're watching.
Oh, you want to hear a good angry story?
I would love to. Let's go.
Just
All
one?
right. So there's three of us working behind the line, me and my good friend Mark, and this.
One's Italian, one's Chinese, I'm sorry, go ahead.
And it's another good friend of ours who's just kind of summer help, but we've known him. It's his second summer working with us, and Mark and I are giving him a wrath of shit all night. And I basically call him the, what is it, the...
Can't call him Marietta.
Not the Tin Man. The if I only had a brain, is the
Scarecrow.
I call him Scarecrow all night. I'm giving him a wrath of shit. Scarecrow, wrath of shit all night. And finally, he comes up to me at the end of the night. I mean, we're packed. We're working on the waterfront. It's only three of us in the line. We're probably doing 300, 400 people. Three of us on the line. Because I've never worked a line with less than, all four of us. That's it, And he goes, Chumley comes right up in my face. He's like, Chumley, you know what? You're fat. And I looked at him and I go, wow, Jim, that's a really good comeback. I mean, literally, we are like 2 inches away from each other's face. And he just looks at me, and his eyes just dropped. I mean, the only thing that didn't come out of his eyes was tears. And I mean, they were there, but they didn't come out.
Oh, good.
They were so close. I was like 22. He was like 18. I was 23. Maybe he was 19. The tears should have came out, but they never came out. He just like, boom, bolted. I look at Mark. I go, do you think he left? He's like, fuck yeah.
So, Chumley, you've been...
So the next morning,
Jesus. I'm sorry, Chumley's still
Mark
talking.
Mark and I show up at 9 o'clock for work, after drinking all night. Do you think Jim's going to show up? Yeah, he showed up because you know what? That's what we used to do back in the day. You know what? No matter
Don't be a pussy.
Yeah, don't be a snap daddy.
Yep.
Snap daddy.
You just show up for work, and I looked at Jim, and he looked at me. He goes, I go, yeah, I am fat.
That's great.
So I don't want to put anybody in the spot, but I've been in the business for almost 7 years now. We just finished our 6th year.
In a row?
In a row. Yeah.
That's a feat.
Believe it or not. Jordan's been there for at least 5, right?
It'll be 4 years at the end of this month. I've been in the industry for about 14.
Yeah. So right around 5.
Wait, you're a little perspiration.
And we're gonna go around the room, and I think we should discuss who they like better, me or Jordan. And
Why does that matter?
I think it starts right with me, and I will say that.
Why don't we ask who likes better, Craig or me? Wouldn't that be a nicer question?
When you were in the show, yeah.
For those who don't know, Craig is the owner of Main Street Sport.
So I vote
Wouldn't
for.
have to hurt anybody's feeling.
Shut up! We're taking a vote. So the first 3 votes are for me. Everybody raise their hand. Oh, there's 5 votes right there. And is anybody voting for Jordan? We love the guy. He's a nice guy.
Who? Well, how did this happen? Where is he going with this? And there's also 6 people down. Never mind.
Have you been doing fireball shots?
I think so, man. Jesus.
I'm trying to get off the Chumley wagon here.
I thought the whole second episode was about.
Well, here's a great
Oh, it's all about you.
Eric, you got 4 now. Do you have a war story?
I have no war stories. I will revert to Chumley.
All right,
Wise
there
move.
was this other time.
Yeah. There was one time at band camp, but we don't want to get into that.
Come on.
No, it's my craziest war.
Sexual
This is a safe
harassment
zone.
used to be part of fringe benefit.
I am going to not mention anything
We used to
about
call
that.
it the prep. We used to call it the prep box treatment.
Let's just say that sofa I found at the dumpster did clean up enough to go into my office for a while. With a lot of vacuuming, and I said I used bleach, but I did not.
Bleach is sofa.
It was not real bleach.
White sofa?
No,
dirty.
it's fine. No, I cleaned it. It's good.
Can't you just smell it?
You know, my dad passed away.
Anyone hear that one? Don't you believe in sympathy sex? That was the line.
Am I the only one with a 6-minute memory span?
You know what's fucked up? She didn't want to sleep with me after that. I'm like, are you kidding me? All these other times I've been like, hey, you wanna? And it was, yeah, let's do it.
We're bringing up jokes from another episode, but it was so worth it.
sorry.
It was so worth it.
She didn't want it, but you made her.
Nicely done,
Oh,
Joe.
God, no. God, no. Good time.
Okay,
Good
Jordan,
times.
go ahead.
What?
You're up.
War story?
Now that
Is-
Carl-
is-
I ain't gonna be able to
now that
follow
Carl's
that.
gonna be edited out.
I ain't gonna be able to
Is this
follow
thing still
that,
on?
man.
Yeah, it is.
Absolutely not.
All right, what else
this
do
isn't
we
the
do?
Jordan Chabot show. But, Carl, you don't have any war stories?
No, I don't have any war stories. And,
Really?
I
Nothing?
love my wife.
Like 1,000 people.
No, she's the best thing that ever happened to me. And
Ah, you are drunk.
the stare down.
No response.
I got a good one that's it's short and sweet. I had a customer that we used
really,
to come
because
into
you
it.
haven't been short and sweet all night.
Well, I'm short and
Just
I'm
long
certainly
and
sweet.
like
Yeah.
And I can dribble a basketball like a motherfucker.
That's right. Even though my knee kills me, right?
He's a
That's
good player
right,
because he can
that's
walk
right.
between all the other guys' legs.
Walk, I would run, motherfucker. I'd run. I had a guy who used to come in all the time at our at the waterfront place we were talking about earlier, the old Mashney Island Grill where the Quahog Republic kind of got started, and there was always young guys in April.
You say Quahog Republic.
The Quahog Republic, you know. But in April, we would open for the season, and much like our seasonal place now, people are fucking crazy in April. If you guys don't realize that, like
I was born in April.
it's just, so you know, you were crazy to start with, but people get going. They're like, we've been cooped up all winter long. I got a party. I gotta like, they're like little kids, and their heads like explode. The fact that a seasonal place opens up. So every year I'd have the same conversation with our staff. I'd say, listen, we're opening. It's April. We're only open weekends like we are at our onset location now. And I go, just keep an eye on customers. They can get a little out of control because they're just so excited and so happy. You know, trying to put a positive spin on it. And
I
sure
feel
enough,
like that all year round.
do you? Like I told you, Plymouth, 10 months a year business. But I had this a couple guys who would come in every year, and they were good kids, but they were young kids. And sure enough, one of the kids started acting like a fool. And if you guys know anything about the way we run business, even here in Plymouth, is we don't put up with shit. Like if someone's acting like a fucking idiot, we try to be respectful. Like take them away from their friends, be like, hey, quit acting like an idiot. We know you're trying to having a good time, but
Are you
cut
talking
the
about
shit.
me?
That's what
No.
I was thinking.
We haven't shut.
If we didn't have to do this thing, we were getting close over there. We were getting close.
I hope we go back.
Yeah, there was the dinner rush coming in, and I was like, "Oh shit, we might
Carl
get
in the corner."
kicked out of here."
And by the way, it was a joke. What?
What happened?
I don't know.
Yeah, we all missed that one.
Yeah. But it was funny, Carl.
Yeah, that was good. Don't stab me. So we'd sit there and, we'd reevaluate who's acting like a fool and not try to get them to calm down. If they don't, you say, hey, why don't you go home or whatever it would be. And this one young guy, he was like, he was being a real douchebag. And he just wouldn't let go. And it finally was, all right, you done? He goes, yeah, all right. So he leaves. And he didn't realize, it was like, we would send people out for the year. We'd be like, if you fuck up in April, you're done for the whole season.
Damn, that's cold.
But you have to set the tone. If you don't set the tone, listen, it's not about that one person,
no,
right?
No, that's cold.
It's about everybody. It's about the guy who's bringing their kids in there.
Not 2 out of 3.
Guys who, don't want, no bullshit. No, you're done. So the guy's done.
You were making insane money.
This is the thing, Chumley. We weren't at that time. We weren't at that time, but if you do that, you will. Trust me, you will. It's amazing. It's like a window washer we know of. I don't fucking want you around me. You know what I mean? Like, why would anyone give that person an opportunity to be around you when you're a piece of shit?
Oh, I love
it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. So get the fuck out. The good people can stay and have a good time. Thank you very much. I'm sorry about the F-bombs.
No, bring it on. That's what this is.
Anyway, so I throw this guy out.
Yeah.
Guess what? 3 years later, because the next year, it's a fresh start.
Right.
When you have a seasonal restaurant.
Then you're fresh.
It's a fresh start.
Better way to damn.
It's really,
hey,
as tough as we are, we're like, we need your money next year.
Couldn't be a month, couldn't be a week, a year.
This guy comes back the next year, and then 3 years later, though, he's getting married. Our old location we used to have a spot where people could get married, and we'd work things out with people. And he ended up getting married at my restaurant.
No shit.
And
he didn't leave you hanging?
He didn't leave. Not only did he not leave me hanging,
the windows were.
It was
perfect.
the biggest day I've ever had in my entire restaurant career as far as sales are concerned.
No shit.
And he tipped you?
He didn't need to tip me.
It was included.
Trust me.
18% gratuity, bitch.
And
tack on extra 2 for that time we had to kick you out for a season.
It was a substantially influential day in my history of going on vacation.
Damn.
And but so you never know what's going to happen. If someone finally gets it, they're going to kick in and go, you know what, man, I get it. Now I have a family and I have kids. I don't want to bring someplace where some guy's acting a fool.
Right.
That's not going to get any of us anywhere. You know what I mean? Like, we all want to run great places, serve great food, great drinks, have great environment, safe environment for people. If we can nurture that, guess what, guys? We're all fucking going home with a pocket full of cash.
You build it, they will come.
Absolutely.
Baby.
All day long.
Always remember, come into Main Street Sports Bar and Grill before 9 o'clock
9.
at night.
Last call. All right, everybody, it's last call. And the timing is always great. This is the portion in the end of the show where everybody polishes off their beverages and gets their last word. You take about 30 seconds to a minute, plug whatever you like. Doesn't matter. Could be about your business. Could be just something that's on your mind. Today, because it's Chumley Day and he's in the middle of chugging a beer, I'm going to start with him.
Well, thank you very much, gentlemen, for having me.
Thanks for being here.
I would like to thank my wife, Jessica, who's home relaxing, I hope. She's worked a long, long day. And I would like to promote Main Street Sports Bar and Grill, 39 Main Street, right downtown. We have wonderful food, an amazing chef, beautiful bartenders. Owner, yeah, he's all right. No, Craig's a good guy. No, but we do wonderful things there. It's a great place to hang out. Lots of fun, good people. Great afternoon, place to be. Pizza and a pitcher, $10, $9.99.
How to beat.
7 days a week, open to close. You can't beat it. And if you don't like beer, pizza and a salad, $9.99. Order a vodka drink, and then have a pizza and a pitcher. I mean, pizza and a salad. Well,
are you all right?
I'm out a little late tonight.
Next up, we got Erik Bevans of the Quahog Republic.
All right, thank you guys for having me yet again. And for the last call, I haven't been out for last call for a long time, so this is nice. I guess I want to tell everybody about the Quahog Republic, right? So we got a new place in Plymouth called the Captain's Den, right next to our man here in the Main Street Sports Pub. Woohoo! And we're loving it downtown. And, of course, right by the Speedwell and the New World Tavern. But
Thanks, man.
We've got a great raw bar, man. One of the things a lot of places down here should be serving. We're serving some great local, fresh oysters, Little Necks at the pub. We've got late-night dining, full menu till 11 o'clock every night. And as always, check out quahogrepublic.com. Tell you about the Captain's Den and our other 3 locations that we have. And we'd love to take care of you. But other than that, man, that's it. Let's get our podcast on.
Rock and roll. All right, I'm Jordan Shabbat of the Speedwell Tavern, as you already know, and I am riding high because I'm celebrating my win over Carl in the Carl versus Jordan bet.
Baby!
The Patriots pulled it off, and Carl will be bartending at the Speedwell Tavern. This is filmed in the past. I can't fucking do it. Recorded in the past. That's a little bit of a prophesizing. But also, I'd like to say I got a fucking baby boy probably 3 weeks on the way.
All right, yeah!
By the time 3 or 2 weeks on the way, by the time this comes out.
Do
So
you have a name picked out
this
already?
might be the last episode. No, we don't have a name. We
Carl
were
Jr.
thinking Carl, Chumley, Erik, Bevans or something.
It's got a nice ring to it.
I would say Andy, but he's too busy spilling beer all over himself over this. But take it away, Carl Heine.
Carl left already, so we're just going to say goodnight. Thank you.
If we could be so lucky.
You think that's funny? It's not funny. Carl Heine from the New World Tavern. Come on down, enjoy some good beers, some great food. I hate everybody that we ever done a podcast with. I'll tell you right now. Some more than others. Chumley being right now on the top of my list. But no, please come down to the New World Tavern, and we really appreciate everybody's support down there when we beat Speedwell Tavern as for the Red Sox. Yep, I mean
Patriots,
did I say Red Sox? I meant the
Bruins,
Patriots. Hold on. There's a girl in the room.
Everyone stare.
Pull your pants up, Carl.
Ladies and gentlemen, it has been the Bar Talk Podcast. Again, I'm Jordan Shabbat. I want to thank you for downloading and listening to this. You can find all other episodes, the links to them at Bar Talkcast on Twitter and Facebook. I want to thank Andy and Fish from Inebriat for producing this. And we'll see you next time.
Yeah.
All right.
Good times.
Fantastic.
Nice.
All right. Thanks for listening to our podcast. Don't forget to check out our other podcast. There's the Bar Talk Podcast. There's Old Colony Cast. And, of course, the Inebriat Podcast along with Jam Packed. You can find all those on Stitcher, iTunes, SoundCloud, YouTube, pretty much anywhere podcasts are found. If you're on some sort of service and you can't find it, let us know, and we'll help you out and or add our podcast with that too. You can contact us at inebriart@yahoo.com and follow us on Facebook as well as Twitter at inebriart. And feel free to send us some tips, ideas, advice, hate mail, whatever it is, you can get us there. And again, thanks for listening.